Welcome to the Duck Dive. Today, we're getting into something that's really captured a lot of attention. It's a simple habit from Mel Robbins in her book, The High Five Habit, the follow-up to the 5-second rule. And our plan today is to really unpack this for you, our listener. We've looked at summaries, Q&As, even some critiques to pull out the key ideas and practical tips. We want you to get those aha moments without feeling overwhelmed. So the big question, how can just one simple daily gesture actually lead to, profound personal growth? Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Where did this whole idea come from? Mel Robbins, despite all her success, she talks about hitting this really low point personally. She was looking in the mirror, just feeling completely overwhelmed, stuck in negative self-talk, and, just really needing some reassurance. That feeling's pretty familiar, isn't it? When that inner critic just won't shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really interesting is how the solution just sort of popped up. It wasn't planned. One morning, feeling awful, she just instinctively gave her reflection a high five. Like completely spontaneously.
Yeah.
An act of kindness to herself. And she said it actually genuinely lifted her spirits. That moment sparked this whole new daily practice.
Right. And it wasn't just like a random hand gesture. She dives into the symbolism. A high five isn't just skin on skin. It's a transfer of energy, of belief, right?
Yeah.
Acknowledgement. For her, it became this daily way to say, yeah, I've got this, to affirm her own worth.
Absolutely. And that taps into her core message, which I think really hits home for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You deserve to be celebrated. Like right now, just as you are, where you are. We're often so good at cheering on our friends, our family.
Oh, totally.
But we forget to do it for ourselves. This habit is really about shifting that mindset. She says it so well. You deserve to be cheered for as you are, where you are right now, starting today.
Wow, yeah. That quote really makes you stop and think. It shows the habit isn't just, waving at yourself. It's about actively building self-worth, self-esteem.
Self-confidence.
Right. Through that daily mirror moment. It makes you wonder, though, why is it so much harder to give ourselves that pat on the back compared to giving it to someone else?
That's a really key question.
Yeah.
I think, society often pushes us to look outwards for validation, and sometimes self-criticism almost feels productive. It keeps us in line, which brings up an interesting critical perspective. Some psychologists, like Kristen Neff, for instance, talk about self-compassion, which involves, kindness to yourself, recognizing shared human struggles, mindfulness. They suggest that might lead to deeper, more lasting change than maybe just affirmations alone. So it's not that the high five habit isn't valuable, but maybe it's like a really great starting point, or perhaps one part of a bigger picture for sustained self-esteem.
That's a useful distinction. A powerful start, maybe not the whole journey for everyone. Okay, so let's get into the science. Why does this simple thing actually work? Mel shared a video of herself doing it, right? And it just took off.
It went totally viral.
Yeah.
Which itself shows how much the idea resonated with people instantly. Fundamentally, it's about validation. When you high-five yourself in the mirror, you're actively seeing yourself, acknowledging yourself positively. And here's the really cool part, neurologically speaking. She suggests it's very difficult to hold on to intensely negative thoughts while you're physically doing a high five.
Why is that?
Because our subconscious links high fives so strongly with positivity, celebration, encouragement. It's like flipping a switch, creating a brief interruption to that negative thought pattern.
So it's like a little mental reset button. That makes sense. And there's other research too, right, about reflection.
Exactly. Harvard Business School research, for example, shows that taking time for reflection actually improves performance and motivation at work. The high five habit acts as a very specific, intentional form of self-reflection. It directs your focus positively toward yourself, rather than just, the never-ending task list.
Okay, and she talks about neurobics. What's that about?
Think of it like aerobics for your brain. Neurobics involves mixing routine actions with something unexpected to build new neural pathways. So the routine is looking in the mirror. The unexpected part is high-fiving yourself, not someone else. That novelty helps train your brain over time to associate your own reflection with encouragement, with positivity.
That's fascinating. And she also connects this to breaking sort of generational patterns, like the self-criticism we might have picked up as kids.
Precisely. It's about injecting radical self-kindness into your daily life. If you grew up hearing more criticism than praise, the high five habit is a direct counter-message. It's a consistent dose of self-affirmation that starts to overwrite those old pathways of doubt with new ones focused on self-acceptance. The ultimate goal is better mental health, better well-being, really.
It is pretty amazing, isn't it, how such a simple physical act can potentially rewire your brain like that.
It really is.
So we get the why, we get the science, but how do you actually do it? What are the nuts and bolts for someone wanting to start?
Okay, yeah, the practical stuff. Mel keeps it very simple. First thing every morning, go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and give your reflection a high five. Connect with yourself. And doing it first thing is key because it sets that positive tone right away.
Right.
It can influence your whole mood, your productivity for the rest of the day.
And it has to be in the mirror. You can't just like high five the air.
Yep. She emphasizes the mirror, yeah. Because looking at yourself, making eye contact, reinforces the connection. It makes the high five about you, for you. It deepens that self-recognition.
Right.
And the bathroom is just usually the most convenient, private place. It hooks easily onto existing routines like brushing your teeth.
Makes sense. But okay, what about those mornings where you just feel awful? Like the last thing you want to do is high five yourself. What's the advice then?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? Her answer is pretty blunt. Do it anyway.
Really?
Yep. She says pushing through that resistance is actually part of building the habit, part of building self-trust. It's like exercising a muscle, the self-encouragement muscle.
Yeah.
You do it even when you don't feel like it. And over time, that practice builds this foundation of internal support, which is there for you even when things get really tough.
Okay, do it anyway. Got it. Now let's tackle that inner critic head on. It's so hard sometimes to accept compliments or even just see ourselves clearly, positively. Mel mentions the mirror face.
Yeah, the mirror face, where we automatically kind of grimace or focus on flaws. It's driven by those deep-seated negative beliefs. It's like our default setting is to find fault.
Totally.
Yeah.
So how do we fight that?
Well, this is where neuroplasticity comes in again, the brain's ability to change. By consciously changing your thoughts and actions, you can rewire your brain away from constant self-criticism. Like Mel says, and this is powerful, you can't change from a place of hate. You must start from a place of love.
And she has that analogy, mental lint.
Yeah, I love that one. Imagine negative thoughts, criticisms from others, disappointments, self-doubt, like lint building up in a dryer filter. Over time, it just clogs everything up, blocking your ability to see your own worth.
That's a great visual. And how does that connect to the brain's filtering system? The
Reticular Activating System, the RAS.
Yes.
Okay, so the RAS is like your brain's gatekeeper. It filters incoming information based on what it thinks is important to you, based on your existing beliefs. So if you deeply believe you're not good enough, your RAS will literally highlight things in your environment that confirm that belief, while filtering out evidence to the contrary. It's confirming your own bias.
Wow. Okay. So it's actively working against seeing the good. If your beliefs are negative, how do you retrain it?
Mel offers a few steps. First, you got to interrupt the negative thought spiral. She suggests literally saying to yourself, nope, not thinking about that right now.
Just stop it in its tracks.
Exactly. Then create a new belief. Replace the negative thought with a positive mantra that actually means something to you. And crucially, take action. Do things that align with the person you want to be. It's like behavioral activation therapy, act the part, and your brain starts to follow.
Okay, act as if. And what's the heart shape exercise?
That's a fun one. It's about deliberately training your RAS. You actively look for heart shapes in clouds, in cracks in the pavement, anywhere throughout your day. By consciously looking for something positive and specific, you're training your RAS to start noticing the good, the opportunities, instead of just scanning for threats or confirmation of negative beliefs. As she says, your mind is designed to help you get what you want. You just have to direct it.
That's really practical. It feels empowering. But again, bringing in that critical lens, while neuroplasticity is real, some critics argue that just using affirmations might oversimplify things, especially for people with, say, deep-seated trauma or really low self-worth.
That's a fair point. Research does show affirmations work better for some people than others. For someone with deeply entrenched negative beliefs, just saying I am worthy might initially feel false or even increase distress if it clashes too strongly with their core feelings. So it raises the question, is the high five habit enough on its own for everyone? Or is it more like a tool within a broader approach? Maybe one that includes therapy or other deeper work for some individuals.
Yeah, it seems like it could be a fantastic catalyst to daily practice, but maybe not a replacement for professional help when that's needed.
Absolutely. It's about knowing the tools available and what fits your specific situation.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit to dealing with pressures from the outside world like jealousy, guilt, needing approval. Mel has a really interesting take on jealousy. She doesn't see it as just this ugly, negative thing.
No, she reframes it completely. She calls it blocked desire. Basically, when you feel jealous, it's a signal pointing directly towards something you genuinely want or crave.
So instead of feeling ashamed of it,
You use it. Analyze. What specifically is triggering the jealousy? What desire is it highlighting? Then figure out how you can take steps towards achieving that or something like it for yourself. Her whole point is that good things, success, happiness, love aren't limited resources. Someone else having them doesn't mean there's less for you. She says, jealousy is an indicator that you can and should have that thing you are craving.
turning envy into action. I like that. What about guilt? She describes it as reins holding you back.
Yeah, that's a powerful image. Guilt, especially the kind born from fear of disappointing others who are not meeting societal expectations, can really paralyze your spirit. She tells a really personal story about wanting office space but feeling guilty because her dad wanted her to keep his old pool table in that space. It became this symbol of choosing between her needs and others' expectations.
That sounds like classic people-pleasing territory.
Totally. And people-pleasing stops you from being authentic and meeting your own needs. One small but interesting tip she gives is to replace "I'm sorry" with "thank you" when you feel that guilt creeping in.
How does that work?
Well, instead of "I'm sorry I'm late," you could say "thank you for your patience." It shifts the dynamic away from apology and guilt towards appreciation. Her big realization, through experiences like the pool table one, was that love and disappointment can actually coexist. Setting boundaries or prioritizing your needs doesn't mean you don't love someone.
That's a huge epiphany for many people. And finally, that constant search for approval, trying to fit in.
Ah, yes. Starts young, doesn't it? But Mel's point is, as an adult, the only opinion that truly fundamentally matters is your own. Constantly seeking external validation is exhausting and breeds anxiety because you're never truly being yourself. The shift she advocates is asking, "Do I like this?" instead of worrying, "Will they like this?"
Prioritizing your own preference.
Exactly, because your relationship with yourself is the foundation. If that's solid, your other relationships will be healthier too.
It makes sense. Although, again, a counterpoint might be that humans are social creatures. While self-approval is key, completely ignoring social feedback or the need for belonging might not be realistic either, right? There's research on the importance of social bonds.
Absolutely. It's likely about finding a healthy balance. You need that strong core of self-worth. But connection and belonging are also fundamental human needs. So it's perhaps less about only valuing your own opinion and more about making it the primary one, the anchor, while still navigating social realities.
Right, a balance. Okay, let's talk action, or rather inaction. Procrastination, perfectionism. Mel calls them dream killers.
Yeah, he cuts right to the chase.
Yeah.
She says they're usually rooted in fear, not laziness, fear of failure, fear of judgment, sometimes even fear of success. She tells this story about Eduardo, this guy who dreamed of being an actor but was stuck driving an Uber because he was too afraid to really go for it. He kept telling himself, now isn't the right time.
Oof, that fear paralysis is real.
It really is. And inaction can be its own form of torture.
So what's the antidote, according to Mel?
Deadlines. Setting specific, concrete deadlines forces you out of vague wishing and into actual planning. It creates urgency and accountability.
Makes sense. And what about when you do try and you fail? Or hit a major obstacle?
Her view is that your response to failure is everything. That's what separates people who achieve things from those who give up. You have to see obstacles as learning opportunities, as detours, not dead ends. She even suggests a mantra for setbacks. Something amazing is happening that I can't see right now. It helps you maintain hope and perspective when things look bleak.
I like that. It reframes the immediate negative. So it's about persistence, patience, keeping that positive outlook, trusting that every experience adds up.
Exactly.
So a question for you listening. Think about a dream you've been putting off. Is it fear or perfectionism holding you back? And could setting a real deadline help you move forward? Just something to consider. Okay, moving towards the end here, let's touch on facing really big challenges, finding courage, healing. Mel acknowledges that fear and anxiety are normal, especially when life throws major curveballs like a pandemic or a personal crisis.
Right. And in those moments, she champions really specific self-talk, looking yourself in the eye and saying, I know you're scared and I know you can do this. It's that blend of acknowledging the fear, but affirming your strength.
And for just general anxiety or overwhelm, she has that simple daily practice.
The hand on the heart. Yeah. Placing your hand on your heart and repeating, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm loved. Sounds simple, but it's meant to be deeply soothing, reinforcing that core sense of security.
Is there science behind that soothing effect?
Yes, actually, it relates to the vagus nerve. Gentle pressure on the chest, combined with deep breathing and calming thoughts, can stimulate the vagus nerve. This helps calm your nervous system down, slows the heart rate, reduces stress hormones. It's a physiological way to induce calm.
Interesting. And she's also open about her own trauma, emphasizing that while these tools are helpful, sometimes deeper healing requires more, like therapy.
Absolutely. She's clear that self-compassion is vital, and that for significant trauma, professional support is often necessary. The high five habit and these affirmations are powerful tools, but they're part of a larger emotional toolkit, not necessarily a cure-all for deep wounds.
Right. It's about building empowerment through consistent practice.
Exactly. Building that inner resilience to face whatever comes your way.
Okay, let's talk about manifesting the future belief, visualization, trust. Mel argues that believing in something, even if it seems impossible, actually primes your mind to see opportunities and empowers you to act. It's less magic, more practical psychology.
Right. It connects to things like the Zeigarnik effect, the idea that our brains stay focused on unfinished tasks or unmet goals. That underlying tension keeps us motivated.
And her take on visualization is specific, isn't it? Not just dreaming of the outcome.
Correct. It's crucial to visualize not just the big win, but also the small, concrete steps needed to get there. That helps your brain, specifically that RAS we talked about, to actually spot the resources and opportunities relevant to those steps. It makes the path clearer.
She tells a story about a painting.
Oh, the painting story. It's fantastic. It took her decades to finally acquire this painting that represented her dreams. It's this incredible illustration of holding on to a belief, staying persistent, even when it takes a really long time.
So the key takeaway is trusting the process, even if it's not on your timeline.
Exactly. Trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, and trusting that things will unfold, maybe not exactly as planned, but in a way that serves your growth. There's that great quote, "You can always connect the dots in your life if you are looking back." The true art is believing that this moment right now is a dot connecting you to something amazing that's coming in the future.
Believing in the future dot while you're standing on the current one.
Precisely. And it all comes back to that idea. You are your own beacon. Happiness, direction, it starts inside. Her Move to Vermont story highlights that, facing fears, finding calm by looking inward.
Okay, so let's wrap all this up into her concept of the high five morning. This is like the daily action plan, right?
Exactly. It's a routine built on a series of small promises you make to yourself each morning to prioritize self-care and really lock in that positive start.
So let's break it down for you, the listener, as a kind of call to action. What are the pieces?
Okay, first, put yourself first. When that alarm goes off, get up. Don't hit snooze endlessly. That first act is a commitment to showing up for yourself.
Right. Second, affirm your worth. Hand on your heart. Say, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm loved. Center yourself.
Third, give yourself a gift. Make your bed. Simple discipline creates order, feels good. A small win right away.
Fourth, celebrate yourself. That's the core high five your reflection. Acknowledge yourself, cheer yourself on.
Fifth, take care of yourself. Lay out workout clothes the night before. Make it easy to choose movement and prioritize your physical health.
And sixth, train your RAS. A few minutes of journaling or visualizing your goals. Set your intention for the day, focus your mind.
And the power isn't in any single action, but in the consistency. These small wins stack up. They change how you see yourself, build real confidence, and lead towards that high five life she talks about.
So, reflecting on everything we've discussed, it really seems like this deep dive into the high five habit shows how one simple daily action, rooted in personal experience but also touching on neuroscience, can genuinely start to reshape your inner world, from quieting that inner critic to embracing yourself, turning jealousy into fuel, getting past procrastination. It all comes back to self-celebration and deliberate action. So here's maybe a final thought for you to chew on. If Mel's right, and every moment, even the tough ones, is a dot connecting you to something amazing in the future, what's one small, consistent act of self-belief you can commit to starting today to help draw that future closer? And maybe more importantly, how will you remember to celebrate that commitment every morning, starting with yourself?